I stand before you today, not just as a name etched in the annals of history, but as a complex tapestry woven from ambition, artistry, and, yes, a fair share of madness. I am Nero, the emperor you love to hate, the tyrant you can't stop talking about. Born Lucius Domitius Ahenobarbus, I ascended to the throne at the tender age of 16, a boy thrust into a world of power plays, where my mother, Agrippina the Younger, guided me like a ship through treacherous waters. Some say she poisoned my predecessor, Claudius, to pave my way. Perhaps she did. The truth is often murky in the shadows of ambition. In those early years, I had the wisdom of Seneca, the philosopher, and Burrus, the prefect, steering my ship. They helped stabilize my reign, and for a time, I was the emperor Rome needed. I sought to connect with the people, to be more than just a ruler in a palace. I wanted to be an artist, a performer, a man of the people. Can you imagine? An emperor singing and acting, competing in chariot races, all while dressed in the finest silks? To some, it was unbecoming. To me, it was liberating. I hosted grand games and festivals, filling the streets with laughter and cheers. The lower classes adored me. They saw me as one of their own, a beacon of joy in a world that often felt oppressive. But the tides of favor can turn, can't they? What began as a reign of artistic ambition spiraled into a tempest of paranoia and tyranny. I executed rivals. My own mother, Agrippina, who had once been my greatest ally, was among them. My stepbrother, Britannicus, too, fell victim to my fear of losing power. It was a dark path, one that twisted my soul into something unrecognizable. I became a ruler who saw enemies lurking in every corner, a man who would do anything to hold onto the crown. The Senate, once my ally, became a nest of vipers, and I purged them, one by one, convinced they were plotting against me. Then came the Great Fire of Rome in 64 CE, a disaster that ravaged the city, leaving thousands homeless and in despair. And here I was, at the center of it all, with whispers echoing through the streets that I had set the fire myself to clear land for my grand palace, the Domus Aurea. Imagine the audacity of such a claim. Yet, in the chaos, I needed someone to blame, and I turned my sights on the Christians. They became the scapegoats for my failures, leading to a brutal persecution that stained my reign. I can still hear the cries of the innocent, the flames that danced in the night, and the horror that gripped the hearts of my people. As my reign continued, my extravagance drained the imperial treasury. I lavished wealth on my projects, thinking I could build a legacy that would outshine the darkness. But the people began to murmur, the Senate turned against me, and the military lost faith. In 68 CE, rebellion brewed under Galba, a governor in Spain. The walls of my palace felt like they were closing in, and I was a cornered animal, desperate and alone. On June 9, 68 CE, I fled Rome, a fugitive in my own empire. In my final moments, I found myself reflecting on what I had become. "What an artist dies in me," I declared, as I took my last breath. It was a tragic end for a man who sought to be more than just an emperor. My legacy? It's a tangled web of excess, misrule, and the perils of unchecked ambition. History paints me as a mad emperor, but I ask you to look deeper. I was a man lost in the chaos of power, struggling to find my place in a world that demanded strength, yet craved artistry. Today, I am a symbol of what happens when ambition spirals out of control, when the desire to connect with the people turns into a desperate grasp for power. I am a reminder that even those who seek to entertain and inspire can fall into darkness. So, remember me not just as Nero, the tyrant, but as a complex figure who danced on the edge of greatness and madness, forever etched in the history of Rome. Do we see any similarities with modern-day leader and narcissistic behavior of Nero?